I shouldn't have been there. It started as a mistake, or at least that's what I kept telling myself as I slid into the passenger seat of a stranger's truck that night. It had been a rough evening. My boyfriend Adam had canceled our dinner plans again. Something work-related, although maybe it was his friends this time. For months, I had ignored his excuses. Instead of going home to an empty apartment, I was walking into a bar on the edge of town. I wasn't going to stay long, just long enough to drink a little and remember what it was like to be seen. That's when I saw him. Tall, broad shoulders, and a tough kind of handsome. The type of handsome who gives my stomach that flip when he enters the room even before he opens his mouth. He was sitting alone at the bar, drumming his fingers on his beer bottle, his eyes wandering the room as if he was waiting for someone. Or something. I don't remember who smiled first, only that all of a sudden we were talking. His name was Cole. He also wondered why I'd looked so sad, and I laughed it off. He said I deserved better, and I believed him. One drink turned into two. Two became lingering touches and the kind of stolen glances that held dangerous promises. I knew I should leave, but when he said, "Need a ride?" I nodded. That's when I ended up in his truck. But we didn't drive. The second the door was shut behind us, his hands found their way on me. His mouth found its way to mine in a way that wiped clean every poor decision I'd ever made, except for the one I was making then. I should have pulled away. I was supposed to have reminded Adam, the one who was home waiting for me, probably too occupied to even notice I was gone. But with Cole, I did not feel invisible. Outside, the rain started falling, streaking the misted windows as our breaths mixed in the silence of the truck. It was reckless, it was wrong, and I didn't stop. Not until my phone buzzed, Adam's name glowing on the screen. I glanced at it, my heart pounding, guilt washing over me, and then an even worse sensation. I didn't want to reply. Cole's fingers brushed the bottom of my chin, tilting my face up to him again. "Stay," he said, a whisper I didn't yet feel like resisting. I sent the call to voicemail, and then I also kinda gave up. I let the call roll to voicemails, so I started to sorta lose it too. Hit against mine again, harder this time, as if Cole knew I was about to make up my mind. My hands curled into his shirt, yanking him nearer. The rain pounded on the roof of the truck, the sound intertwining with rancid breaths that flared between us. But then, headlights. A slant of blinding beams sliced through the dark, cutting across the truck's fogged-over windows. My stomach dropped. I froze. Cole's hands, confident in themselves then, now curled at my waist as he stared past me, at the lights. "You expecting someone?" he said finally, his voice low, unsure. I shook my head. The headlights didn't move. My phone buzzed again, but this time it wasn't a call. A message flashed across the screen. "Adam, where the hell are you?" I swallowed, panic clawing at my chest. He wouldn't have followed me. He wasn't really paying attention to where I was going. But what if this time was different? Cole's fingers brushed my cheek, straightening me. "You want me to drive?" he asked, his tone steady despite the tension hanging overhead. I hesitated. Leaving meant running. To run was to confess. But waiting here meant waiting to get caught. Everything was feeling much more cramped in the truck. The walls seemed like they were closing in. The headlights flickered. The car sitting outside, whoever it was, wasn't going anywhere, and neither was I, not yet. I drew a shaky breath and placed my hand on the door handle. "I need to see who that is." Cole's hand caught my wrist. "Are you sure?" I wasn't, but I opened the door anyway. The cold air flooded in, battering my flushed skin. My boots rang against the wet pavement as I stepped outside to shield my eyes from the glare. It soaked my flimsy sweater in seconds flat, but I barely registered it. The car's door opened, and Adam stepped out. My heart nearly stopped. His face was not that of rage, not yet. It was something worse, recognition. He knew. Cole emerged from the truck behind me, vague, unmoving. I felt his eyes shifting between me and Adam, measuring, loading. Adam's jaw clenched. He didn't say anything, but my God, his eyes. He had never seen me like that before, not with love and not with anger, but with the third inexorable conviction that whoever we were, whatever we being left us, just broken into bits so they felt, we had no way to put it back together. My mouth opened, but I didn't know what to say. And for the first time in ages, he didn't. The rain fell, the sound of our feet the only thing to break the space that formed between us. Adam remained frozen in place, his face obscured by the glare of the headlights. He didn't blink, didn't speak. He just looked. Cole shifted beside me. He wasn't an idiot. He made the connection now. He cleared his throat. "You want me to go?" His voice was even, but it had a tension blooming in it. I didn't answer, because I didn't know what I wanted. Adam stepped left, slow, deliberate. His eyes drilled into mine looking for something. An excuse, a lie. Who knew? Maybe an apology. I had none. "You left your car at the bar," Adam finally said, more calmly than was natural. Figured something was off. I swallowed hard. "Adam? Who is he?" His gaze darted to Cole and back to me. "Or does that even matter?" Cole sighed and perhaps realized this was not his fight. He shoved his hands in his pockets. "I'll give you two a minute." And with that, he stepped a few paces behind the button and leaned against the front of his truck. Now it was just me and Adam, alone. I hated how my hands shook, so I made fists. "Adam, You don't have to say it." He laughed sardonically and waved a hand through his rain-viscous hair. "I already know." I sensed something catch in my throat. Did he? He wasn't all that it felt like to be ignored. To wait at home for someone who was always too busy, too distracted, too tired. Did he know what it was to feel like an afterthought? "No," I said, my voice almost swallowed in the rain. His jaw tightened. "So that's your excuse?" His eyes clouded over, a mix of anger and something deeper, hurt. "Because I work late? Because I don't text you enough?" He scoffed. "So that's why you got held up here?" I shook my head, water running out of my hair. "I came here because I had to feel Adam." My voice cracked. "Something real." He wasn't worse than yelling. He was quiet. Because I had literally just said out loud what none of us wanted to say. But something had broken between us long before that. I just happened to be the first person in history to walk away from the wreckage. Adam exhaled sharply and looked away. "So what now?" I didn't have an answer. Cole, still leaning against the truck, turned to look at me. His expression was inscrutable, though, his presence a reminder. I had a choice to make. Go back to the life I knew, or leap into the unknown. I looked at Adam, the man I had once loved, the man who had loved me in return, but love alone had never been enough, and I suspected it would never be. I took a slow step backward. Adam opened his eyes a touch wider, like he didn't think I would take this route, like he thought somehow I would repent enough to dash back to him. But I didn't. Now the rain fell harder, washing away the words we had left, and then I got in the truck without looking back for the second time. This time, we drove. The tires splashed over the wet pavement as Cole's truck rattled down the deserted road. My heart pounded louder than the rain, my breath uneven. I didn't look back. I couldn't. Adam stayed in place, his silhouette dissolving in the rearview mirror. In that moment, I knew I would never forget the way he looked at me. Not with anger, but worse. Disappointment. I made my choice. But had I made the right one? Cole stayed silent, hands white-knuckled around the wheel. His mouth was set, as if he was waiting for me to say something. Maybe he wanted to see some remorse. Maybe he was hoping I would crack, beg him to come back. I didn't. At last, after what felt like miles of choking silence, he spoke. "You okay?" I let out a hollow laugh. "I don't know." Cole sighed and drummed his fingers on the wheel. "Look, I didn't intentionally want to be involved in something. If I had known—" "You did nothing wrong," I interjected. Did I believe that? Maybe. Maybe not. But I wasn't going to let him take the hit for a decision that was my own. There was a pause, and then Cole said the one thing I was dreading. "So, where do you want me to take you?" I glanced outside, where the rain had blurred the streetlights into glowing halos. I should say home. I should go back, face the wreckage I left behind. But the thought of entering that apartment, the one Adam and I had crafted together, now a mere collection of memories that didn't belong to me anymore, made my chest feel tight. "Not home," I whispered. Cole glanced over at me, a look on his face as if he was reading my mind. He didn't press me for more. Instead, he nodded, then made a turn I didn't know. I should have been afraid. I wasn't. Moments later, he pulled into the parking lot of a small motel off the highway. A neon sign buzzed on and off, casting a dull red hue above the rain-slick pavement. "This okay?" he asked. I hesitated, then nodded. "Yeah." We stopped for a second, the engine of the truck humming quietly below us. Cole sighed and rubbed a hand across his face. "Look, I don't want you to feel like I brought you here for a reason." He looked at me, his eyes solemn. "You don't owe me anything." I swallowed hard. "I know." But as he reached for the door handle, I grabbed his wrist. He froze. I caught his eye, searching for doubt, for reconsideration, anything that would stop me from more screwed-upness. I didn't find it. So I made my choice. Again, I leaned in. This time I didn't stop him when he kissed me. But this time, I didn't care what came next. Not yet. But consequences always come. And mine were waiting for me. My phone buzzed from somewhere far away. I ignored it. Tonight I was someone else. For tonight I was free.